Muhammad Ali Shah Saab. Shah Saab, the point is that we have been discussing this in the past. One community, members of one community blaming the other community blaming again the other community. It's not going to help the situation. We are back to the square one. There are cycles of violence that are taking place in Manipur. The state has not stabilized. Whenever there is a lull, the focus gets off from that state. And when violence erupts, the focus is back on the states. Why I say this? Because 200 companies have now been rushed by the center to Manipur to quell the violence. But that is not the root cause of the problem.
Right, Zafar bhai, you are absolutely right. It pains me no end. I know both our guests on the screen we can see very well. In fact, I have very, very high regards for both of them, in fact. In fact, Colonel Sapam is a very, very illustrious officer, and Glady, again, very reputed, highly reputed among the Koki community, in fact, and very well respected. Now, firstly, before I speak anything, I would like to tell our viewers that they've been hearing news of Manipur, and today I had gone outside. I overheard somebody talking about Manipur and saying that we heard about this autopsy report about this 31-year-old woman, the mother of three, on 7th, what happened to her, brutally tortured and killed and then burnt alive. I would like to tell our viewers, firstly, people of Manipur. When I say people of Manipur, I include the Maites, the Kukis, and Nagas. It was called a barbaric act. They're not whatever. They're not barbaric at all. They are very cultured, very principled, and very, very peace loving. Actually, it's very unfortunate what we are seeing right now. This is not. It's not that I heard this. I heard this in my own ears, and I was very hurt. I had to intervene. I had to tell them, no. What you're imagining, the image that you are building, it is not this way. People from the northeast part of India are my best friends, and I love them. I love them very, very dearly. So what has happened is very unfortunate, indeed painful. In fact, I shudder to even imagine such a painful death. It's very unfair. Now, this has been happening from both sides, unfortunately, and this has to be put to rest. This has to come to an end. Enough is enough. We've seen enough of violence over there. Unfortunately, Zafar bhai, people are more concerned about US elections, about Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, about other things, about Lebanon, about Iran, about Russia, Ukraine. What about our own house? Our own house, our own state, Manipur. Manipur, let me tell you one thing. Many of our viewers may not be knowing. They would be only knowing about the Ratan Thyam and Mirabai Chanu and Mary Com, and the Manipur has contributed a deal towards our nation building. We should be very grateful to that state in the first place, and not just nation building, internationally.
To the point of this women who was killed, this 35-year-old woman, and these are gut-wrenching details. The way that she was killed and the body was charred, one cannot understand who are these people who are committing such grave, atrocious crimes. Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah, we lost you briefly. If you can hear me now, she's a 31-year-old woman who was killed. She was a mother, and the way that she was killed, it's most shocking. But what we are seeing, that this has only brought to light the sharp polarization that's existing in Manipur, rather than this becoming a point where people from both the communities can come together and try and seek justice and try and seek answers and accountability for those criminals, for those perpetrators to be held to task for this atrocious crime. What we are seeing, unfortunately, is that there's a blame game that is going on, and it's not going to help anybody.
Exactly, this blame game is not going to help anybody. Now, just coming back to a small little thing, that since my friend Glady Wi-Fi's profession was brought out, let me tell the viewer that she's a very, very respectable business lady. Her husband, a very respectable aviator. She sent her son to one of the best schools of the country. She made a lot of sacrifices. So I really respect her a lot. Colonel Sapam has spent all his life with the Assam regiment. He's lived his life with cookies. He's got his best friends were cookies. In fact, I know this for sure. So again, I'm coming to it's such a mistrust has happened. Just yesterday, I have this text. I'll not name the doctor from Manipur. So I'll not name the community, but you can well imagine the doctor told me that somebody else came as a patient of a different community. That doctor can be a Maite cookie and the other person could be a Maite cookie, but different community. So I'll not try to name that, right? There was so much of mistrust that when the mother got to know, or the patient's mother got to know that the doctor is from this particular community, there was mistrust. The mother was shocked, aghast. The mother thought, and this did not happen in Manipur, by the way. This happened, I'll not name a city, it happened outside Manipur. A personal friend of mine, this happened with. So, this is the level of mistrust that we have gone to, unfortunately. Whereas doctors have taken a pledge that they are going to be unbiased. They will, a patient is a patient. They will treat the patient the way it is. So, that is the level of mistrust. Now, the Kuki tribe has lost complete confidence in the chief minister, Mr. N. Brain Singh. The Maite community has lost complete faith in the Assam Rifles, where Assam Rifles is led by the Indian Army officers who are very impartial, very just, who will only protect the victims. They will not see who is Maite, who is Kuki, who is Naga. They will not see that. They will just go. So the Assam Rifles led by the Indian Army officers. So people who cast aspersions. Now, two battalions of the Assam Rifles were sent to Jammu Kashmir. Fine, Jammu Kashmir was tension. There was tension over there. The Assam Rifles are troops which are very, very hardy, battle hardened, and they're very good. They're number one, I would call them. So I see it this way. They were selected for a special mission to go abroad, to go up north. Now, Gladdy mentioned that the eyes were plucked out and such things, and then that the army would not do that. Well, I'm sure she didn't mean the army; she meant the security forces, because normally civilians don't know the difference between the security with the CRPF, army, Assam Rifles. It's like they are meant to be guarding them. Now they are village volunteers who are protecting the land. I think the armed forces the people should have that much of faith in the armed forces, the security forces. When I say armed forces, I mean the security forces, be it the Assam Rifles, be it the army, be it the BSF, be it the CRPF, be it the state police, that they are here to protect us. They will look after us. But so much has gone down the drain that people have lost faith completely. So how do we do that? We get people on for a dialogue. The Home Ministry had initiated something about 2 weeks back. The Maites and the Cookies to sit together and talk over a dialogue. I don't know what the outcome was and how fruitful it was, but I would call it a good initiative. But again, the trouble is dialogue is the only way forward, because it's only getting from bad to worse, and the wounds are only getting deeper and deeper. What happened on 7th of November was extremely shocking, and it was bone chilling. It was spine chilling. It was. So now, again, 6 people go missing, out of which a family in June they got displaced. Now they were staying in Jiribam, along near the police station, near the CRPF camp. They were staying there. 8-month-old baby. Can you imagine an 8-month-old baby? Here we can see 3 women
Yes.
and 3 children gone missing completely, and no one has any clue. No one knows. In fact, some people are saying that there's no confirmation whether there's confirmation or not. But the news, there's no smoke without fire. A news comes in, which means there must be something to it. That's why the news has come in. How do we get them now back to talk together and shake hands? It's not like school. Now, okay, guys, don't fight. Come on, shake hands, become friends. Now go home. It's very complex now. It's become so complex that the central government has to take, I'm sure they are taking interest. They will have to take in more interest and ensure Sam, Dam, Dan, Bhed, do what you want. A simple Maite wants peace. A simple Cookie wants peace. And I see no reason. There was a committee of 51 members, okay, of peace committee last year, which was rejected by the members itself. Why? Because the consent wasn't taken. Where are the interlocutors? They were interlocutors formed for the Assam, right? They were the alpha problem was going on. Where are the interlocutors? I would ask. I would ask the government, where are the people who will ensure peace? Who will ensure peace? So it's my advice, just a suggestion to the government to immediately, with immediate effect, consider this to be the first priority. As I explained in the beginning, how important is the Manipur, the state. Last year they had Femna Miss India there. They had an international polo tournament. They had people going all over. I mean, they were going places. Suddenly, what's happened? In 93, there was a Maite clash between the Pangal and in 94, there was a Naga Cookie clash. In 97, there was an in-house fighting among cookies. but there's never been a Maite and Kuki clash ever. Now we
Right.
are seeing a deadly
Ma-
clash.
Major Shah, I was just trying to understand if the eyes were gouged, right? And it's alleged that people from one community did that. Now, the point is that the security forces say there was an encounter. They were wearing, army fatigues or fatigues of security forces, some sort of a uniform they were wearing when the encounter took place. Why will the security forces take it on to themselves that these 10 people were killed? If they were killed by somebody else, how will that happen?
No, security forces, I'll tell you, they always honor the dead. They always. I mean, they don't believe in mutilating, and unless it's the enemy. Like in 1999, Pakistan did that to our soldiers, to Lieutenant Saurabh Kalia, and the body was mutilated and such thing. But soldiers, in fact, we gave Pakistani soldiers a very respected burial from our side. That is the magnanimity of the on the Indian side. And let me tell you one more thing. They are war ethics and ethos, they're war rules, and they're followed strictly by people on their own. My experience, I had seen counter-insurgency operations in Jammu Kashmir and I had seen in the northeast part of India. Now, my experience tells me that in Jammu Kashmir, oh, they are going to be ruthless. They don't care. You're a woman, child, whatever, they don't care. In Manipur, I had seen the underground factions. They used to honor women and children. They never attacked women and children. In their convoys passing by,
No,
the fire brigade, the
Major
ambulance.
Shah,
One second,
yeah, yeah.
the ambulance, the school bus used to go without protection, carefree, because just 2 years back, exactly same day, 2 years back, 3 years back, sorry, there was CEO of Assam Rifles, Commandant Colonel Biplab Tripathi. He, his wife, his son, his small child, and other Jawans, they were killed in action. Unfortunately, the PLA issued later apology later on that they did not know that the family was traveling in that same convoy. Right now, the fact is, I have seen that kind of ethics in Manipur. Now, what's happened now suddenly? What happened? It's someone's sinister design, Zafar Bhai. It cannot be my own people who were so affectionate towards each other, who were living
Major,
like brothers, and now
M-
suddenly this sinister design comes in and
M-
fire flares up big time.
Major Ali Shah, because he has studied this conflict, he has served there, he is keeping a track of the situation, and he knows where it's headed. He has some concerns about the way that it's being dealt, the way that it's being treated as a law and order problem, the way those peace committees were formed that had no significance on the ground, they were not used in the way that they were thought about. Major uh, Muhammad Ali Shah Sahab, what is the way forward?
Zafar Bhai, I am a motivational speaker and defense analyst. I used to analyze on global affairs, on geopolitics. I left all my work aside. I sacrificed my income also for a long time. And you don't believe it? Out of my love, my personal interest, I took interest and I tried my best. I to deaf ears to get the both the communities together. And I'm sure Colonel Sapam and Gaddy also would agree to that. But all my pleas, all my ideas, all my efforts fell to deaf ears actually, unfortunately. I am thanks, Gary. I'm desperate to get peace in Manipur. I'm desperate. I've taken it personally. So I see no reason if Major Mohammed Ali Shah has taken it personally, everyone can take it personally. The government, I, with all due respect and regard to them, I'm sure they're doing their best. They can put in more effort, more energy, more focus on getting peace in Manipur. I told you, Sam, Dam, Dan, Bhed, get interlocutors. You had formed a peace committee last year of 51 members. Form a peace committee. Now get them to talk. Get them on a dialogue. In fact, you would have noticed in this entire conversation, Zafar Bhai, I did not take sides either with cookies or with Maites. Both are my brothers. I love them. Both the communities are very dear and very special to me. Get people who know, who understand Manipur, who would not take sides, who will somehow get them to talk. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But not impossible. Impossible itself says, I am possible. Till how long? Till how long will we see suffering? Till how long will we see the way? And secondly, I would urge people not to brand any community like, Maite rapist, cookie militant or poppy culture, all that. Forget it. We are brothers. We all should coexist together. We all should live together. We have to see a promising future together tomorrow. What are we leaving for our generations? What are we leaving for our children? Our children will bear the brunt of what we are doing today. So today, what we do, hence many years later on, it will be remembered in history. Oh, your forefathers, your ancestors did this. We should actually not give fuel to someone's sinister design, whoever it is. I don't know who it is, but it definitely someone's sinister design. I cannot believe a state where women and children were always guarded, always loved, always respected. They were never attacked. Now they're brutally being killed. I mean, Tonsing Hansing, 7-year-old. I mean, his father Joshua Hansing, who was married to a Maite Christian, her sister Lydia. She was, again, when they were taking in the ambulance, they were surrounded and they were killed. I think everyone should sit down and together. I mean, they were two. They were the young couple in the teenage. Might take a young. I will not call couple a young teenagers. They were going for tuitions and then they went missing. So it's been happening from both the communities. And then who started it? It's not about who started it, who did end it. No, it's about we have to think maturely. एक ठंडे दिमाग से we have to sit together and think if we do not end it now, because as they say, a stitch in time saves nine. If we don't end it now, Zafar Bhai, I am telling you, I commend you. I commend Mojo Story. I commend certain channels like NewsX. They've been doing a very fine job. Otherwise, there are some channels who are not bothered to even cover Manipur. Why? I will tell you why. Because many of the journalists think that Manipur will not get them eyeballs, will not get them TRPs, it will not sell. How cheap is that? I think one has to be unbiased and one has to think for the betterment of our state. I'll give you a small example and I'll conclude there. You know, when this entire conflict started, because of I've spent my childhood days, my beautiful days in Manipur. My father commanded a brigade from Kakshin, from Manipur. In fact, he was also in the army. So the very fact is, I have spent such good days in Manipur that I took it personally upon myself. And when I started interviewing people, I've interviewed Gladdy, I've interviewed Colonel Sapam. And in fact, when I started interviewing people, people would say, "Oh, nobody watch your interviews on Manipur. Yeah, come on, focus something on something else." I said, I don't care whether anyone watches or anyone doesn't watch. I will do my duty for giving the information. So I would continue focusing there. So I think our focus right now should be east. We should look east. We should form. We should make them. We often it so happens. Unfortunately, I will tell you, leave aside the violence. Okay, a person from northeast part of India comes to Delhi. It can be from Nagaland, can be from Arunachal, can be from Mizoram. Such slangs are used. I'm aghast. I feel hurt. I always intervene and I say, please, guys, they are own people. I mean, obviously, if you alienate a certain section, they would feel, kya yaar, humko neglect kar rakha hai humko. There's a way of dealing. There's a way of making them feel that we are one of them. They are one of us. We have to live together. And in fact, if you see, I told you, the contribution of northeast part of India has been immense towards our nation building. So most certainly, the nation's first priority is to save a burning state like Manipur at the moment. Zafar Bhai.
Right. This suffering has to end.